He grew up on Kensington Avenue in Toronto, where nobody ever backed away from a fight. Many years later, that fighting spirit would resurface in his son as he worked to resurrect the brand his father made famous. The name Lastman is iconic in both furniture and political circles. Melvin Douglas Lastman was born in 1933 in Toronto. When he was 16 years old, he had already met the love of his life, Marilyn, who worked in a College Street appliance store. Marilyn thought she could get her extremely shy boyfriend a job at the store, but in order to do so, her boss told her she would have to quit. So Marilyn quit, and Mel's career in the furniture industry began. He started out in accounts receivable, but one night was forced into sales when a floor salesman called in sick. That night, he sold 2 stoves and a fridge, and a star was born. Mel was 22 years old when the downturned economy forced his employer out of business. Undeterred, Mel started Heather Hill Appliances in 1954. He opened the doors and expected people to come in, but they didn't. So he learned about generating his own sales. Mel would follow an ice truck around and write down the addresses of its deliveries, later visiting the people himself and selling them new refrigerators door to door. Mel credits his name Bad Boy to some marketing advice he got from a good friend of his named Joe Regan, who was a salesperson for Inglis. Joe felt that Mel should play up the angle of being the bad boy of appliance sales, and the name stuck. Mel then changed the store name to Bad Boy Appliances and moved into a 1,000-square-foot space at Wilson and Weston Roads. Hurricane Hazel had devastated areas of Toronto the previous year, and many people were put up in trailers before they received new housing. Mel would visit the trailers and sell them their appliances in advance. And when the appliances were delivered, he'd speak to their new neighbors as well. Mel knew he would have to get the word out about Bad Boy, so he became a master of promotion, pulling off stunts that would rile the crowds, excite the media, annoy the police, and give him his now famous nickname. Whether it was handing out $2 bills for $1 to passers-by at Yonge and Queen, or giving away free live turkeys at Thanksgiving, nobody understood free publicity better than Mel.
I was flying over the Arctic, and I look down and I see all this ice and snow, and I figure, oh, that's a terrific idea. Nobody ever sold a refrigerator. It went into the Guinness Book of Records. Nobody ever sold a refrigerator to the Eskimos and gone there to do it. And we took it down there, and he gave me 2 dead fish and a fur.
And as the Bad Boy's reputation grew, it seemed that every celebrity who came to town wanted to meet him. In 1969, Mel was elected as the City of North York's controller. Over time, he became more and more involved in politics, eventually becoming the mayor of North York in 1972, a position he would hold for 25 years. After holding office and running Bad Boy simultaneously for 3 years, Mel made the difficult decision to get out of the business. In 1976, the chain of 40 Bad Boy stores was sold. Blaine Lastman was only 14 years old at the time of the sale, but he was already bitten by the retail bug. Long after it sold, Blaine knew he wanted to bring Bad Boy back. The furniture industry seemed to be in his blood, and after receiving an economics degree, Blaine got a job working as a sales rep for King Coil. A year later, he left to become an independent traveling rep, selling furniture for 7 manufacturers across Ontario. He always wanted to revive the Bad Boy brand, and in 1991, Blaine did just that. It was during the recession, and Mel thought his son was out of his mind. He was still trying to get over the shock of it all when the idea came to him for a catchy new tagline for Bad Boy. 6 months before the store's opening, Mel called Blaine one night from Florida and said, "I've got it."
Who's better? Nobody!
Once the first Bad Boy store opened on Kennedy Road in Scarborough, Blaine set out to tell the world. His strategy was to take one store and make it look like 100. To do that, he launched a series of ads on radio and TV and took out double-page spreads in the Toronto Sun. Then, of course, there was his own bad boy publicity stunts. The most infamous of these was the use of Bill and Hillary Clinton lookalikes in a series of TV ads that eventually sparked a cease and desist request from the White House. Lastman replied, "This is Canada, not the 51st state." The resulting publicity was golden, and Bad Boy continued to expand, opening stores in Scarborough, Mississauga, North York, Whitby, and Barrie. In 2006, Mel Lastman came back to his original love, Bad Boy. Blaine Lastman made his father the honorary chairman of the board of the newly minted Lastman's Bad Boy. Bad Boy recently opened stores in London and Kitchener. The London store's sales for the first week were over 20% of what had been forecast for the first year. And sales in Kitchener were even higher. That's good news for Bad Boy, and it's also good news for the charities that Bad Boy generously supports. Of course, the resurgence of Bad Boy wouldn't be possible without the hard work and dedication of people such as President Tony Bellesingham, Vice President and Controller Beth Lanes, and the dedicated team they've put in place.